But growing up in that town taught me a lot of values, taught me a lot of things. And I had a wonderful family, and I'm a proud dad of 3 sons myself. I was a pastor for 25 plus years, was married. My mom and dad were married 55 years to each other before they left this world and went to heaven. They had a wonderful marriage, a wonderful life. Now, give them a hand, very much so. Wonderful people, salt of the earth. I myself was married 25 plus years, but I'm on the variety pack. I had to have 2 ladies to make that 25 years. I'm just saying. And going through that divorce, when I decided I was going to date again, I hadn't been on a first date since the 1900s. And I thought, how am I going to do this? So like any red-blooded American man with, 40-something with $29.95 in his checking account, I joined the world of online dating. Here came Big Rich online looking around. And I'm just kind of looking around, seeing people, and all of a sudden I got a message. And I looked at the picture and I said, that's a nice-looking lady. She's in my age bracket. She owns her own business. She had a hair salon. So she knows she's got good hair. I said, I might get a free haircut out of it one day. Who knows? So I'm looking. But I didn't know anything. Nothing. I didn't know what catfish meant. I didn't know what filtered pictures were. Only filtered I knew was like on a cigarette. I didn't know, you could filter a picture. I didn't know all women looked like porcelain dolls that were on these social online dating sites. I didn't know. And we're talking, and we had so much in common. Everything I said, she goes, me too, yes, me. I'm like, this is amazing. We have so much in common. She goes, we need to meet. I said, I just don't know. I haven't been on a first date in 28 years. She goes, come on. And I reluctantly gave in to meeting for coffee. Sounds safe, doesn't it? Yeah. I show up early because I'm the son of a postman. And I'm waiting there at the Starbucks there in Northwest Georgia. And I'm sure in Utah, y'all do the same things we do. We people watch when we're early. And I'm just watching people. And I see this car a van barrel in to the Starbucks parking lot. Pulled right in, and I thought, well, that's an old van. You don't see any of those anymore. It wasn't the one that had that bumper sticker on it, by the way. I did check. And I thought, that's interesting. And it was an older lady. And when she opened the door, cigarette smoke flew out of it. It looked like Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And I'm watching this lady, and I'm thinking, man, this is interesting. Just watching people, waiting on my date. She's looking for gum because she'd been smoking. Now, ladies, if you want to freshen your breath, maybe a little Dentyne. Wrigley's. Not this woman. She went full-blown Hubba Bubba. She broke out the big league chew. She started chewing on that bubble gum like a cow on cud at North Georgia, just wearing it out. And then, ladies, when she got done with it, not a napkin, not a tissue, like a princess. Old school. Right there on the ground. First thing I thought was, I better not step in that on my way out on my date. And I watched her walk in. And she took her pocketbook and she marched into that Starbucks like she owned the place. She was on a grandma on a mission. I didn't know I was the mission. I'm going to do her voice for you one time, because I got to do another show tomorrow. And I'm afraid I'll wake up in a cold sweat crying like I did for 3 months after I met this woman. But she walked up to my table at Starbucks, and this is what she said. Hey, doll, you been waiting long? My voice went back to a 12-year-old boy at puberty. I said, who, me? I sounded like Shaggy off the Scooby-Doo. She said, yeah, doll. And I started talking to anybody that listened in the heavens or above. I was like, I gotta get out of here. What did you do, Big Rich? I said, would you like some coffee? Because I'm nice. I'm very nice. Ladies, I'm very nice. I know 2 women that don't like me. What's the odds I married both of them? I mean, I'm telling you. Go figure. Normally, I only do one ex-wife joke at a time so I can say it's the other one. Whew, God, I have to edit that. And she says, you been waiting on doll? I said, who, me? No. And then she looked at me and she said, yeah, I like some coffee. How do you like it? She goes, I like my coffee like I like my men, strong, with a little sugar. I said, well, I don't go to the gym. I don't have a membership at the gym. So I got her coffee. I came back to the table. I set it down. And then she slid her chair all the way around to my side. And her chair was up against my chair. And I hadn't been on a date since the 1900s. I was scared to death. And she put her hand on my leg, my upper thigh. And she said this, if you'll take me to dinner tonight, I'll make you breakfast in the morning. I said the first thing that came to mind. I said, I don't eat breakfast. I got news for you. I'm big rich. I love me some breakfast. Come on. I said, I got to get out of here. She says, what's wrong, doll? Is it my appearance? I just looked at her and she goes, I got to tell you something. I said, is your name Steve from Chattanooga? She goes, those pictures aren't really me. No kidding. They're my younger sister. 2 questions. Number 1, how much younger? And number 2, what's she doing tonight? She said 14 years. I was number 72 out of 106, but my math was on fire that night. She said she was 46 years old. I added the 14. I did the math. I said, oh my goodness, you're 60? Well, I just had a birthday, doll. Add 1 more. Now listen, I know y'all love the cougars around here, but enough's enough. She was 61 years old. I said, I'm sorry, I got to go home. I'm not ready for this. Would you at least walk me to the car? I said, lady, I'm running to my car. But if it's on the way to yours, I'll wave at you if you can keep up. And I learned my lesson that night. I got in the car and I said, I am getting off that social online dating. That's not for me. And I made a commitment. And I stuck to it for 3.5 weeks.